Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps, and today I have a masculine slimline card using the brand new Lovely Layers Mancave dies. So I have die cut most of my, a couple of the big images. So we have the bar here, we have the pool table. I have die cut that, the background, and I think the vase to the plant, all from the Urban Roots patterned paper. So you have some really awesome color choices there, and it made perfect for the bar and the pool table. So actually I'm going to bring in the die again for the pool table. I'm going to die cut it one more time. So you can see that the dark part on the bar, which is on the upper right of my screen, I actually thought I'm going to use that for the legs and for the top frame of the bar. So I'm actually going to grab that again and die cut that one more time. I kind of had it all a leathery look, which is one of the pattern papers, which is really nice. And I do still have some of that, but I'm going to add some of the dark. And I really am glad I did, because then it really makes the bar and the pool table match. So cute, cute. Then we have our chairs, and I thought it would be fun to bring in some blues. We're going to bring in kind of a deeper red and some green, but then you have all of these neutrals with our patterned paper for our wallpaper that I'm going to be showing you here in a little bit. I did a brown floor, just very, very much guy colors. And then the seats of the chairs I did from kind of a medium color brown cardstock, and then gray and black for the TV, and we're going to add our sentiment to this, and I thought that would be really cute. Then we have our green plant. You can see that's some pattern paper from the Urban Roots, and then just a darker green for this one plant. I think it's awesome that there is a plant in this, even though this is very much a guy card. Having, just like in your own home, having a plant, the greenery, things like that, just breaks up all of the other color and brings this really nice natural element into the space. And so it's kind of it breaks up all of the browns, the neutrals, and things like that. So really a nice addition in this die set. There is also a chair, darts, like a dartboard. There is a shirt, so you could like frame a jersey. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that might be it. Then we have our lights. I'm going to do 2 lights that hang above the pool table. So I want to glue our deeper red here onto our yellow piece. And that's going to give us our 2 lights. Then we have our little beer mug, and there's one, and I just flipped it over. So I die cut the mug itself from vellum. Then you have your beer, and I did that from a yellow cardstock, and then the foam from a white cardstock. So I just flipped over the vellum mug. It's so little you're not even going to know after I die cut it. So that way I have one going each way. So I'm going to glue on that foam on each one of these. Then we have our pool sticks that hang up on the wall, and I'm going to have one that's kind of leaning against the pool table, just so it feels like there's movement, almost like something's actually happening in there. So again, this is a slimline card which measures 8.5 by 3.5. I trimmed out this patterned paper. I thought this was like perfect wallpaper, and then I just took a darker brown cardstock, and I'm going to have that for the flooring, keeping it super simple. I think I cut a 1/2 inch strip, and then I can start laying out my little scene here. Again, this is the man cave, so we want it to feel very masculine. I'm going to add 2mm foam adhesive behind most of the elements here. I want to make sure that all my elements are not stuck directly to my background. That kind of, in certain situations, especially in a scene card, that can look really flat. So if you don't want to do thick, like 2mm, just get a 1mm foam adhesive. It's super low profile, like super thin, but it just adds a little something. Okay, so we have our bar and our pool table. I'm going to add 1mm on the top of these chairs here, and then just a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom. I just want them away from the top part that you're really going to notice, away from that bar, and that works perfectly. Cute, cute. Then we have our TV, and that is going to have 1 millimeter because I want that to feel like that's a little further back behind the bar. And then we have our 2 little beer mugs here. And so I'm going to pop those in place with 2 millimeter foam adhesive and just having them sit on the bar top there. And then we have this cute plant, and I'm going to bring that back in just a minute. First, I want to get the cue sticks. Is that what they're called? Pool sticks, cue sticks. It's one of those, and right now my brain can't decide which one it is. Maybe it's both. You guys can let me know in the comment. I love playing pool. Pool stick. Cue stick. It's one of those. Anyways, let's add our lights. Those have 2 millimeter foam adhesive, just like the pool table, and that gives the feel that they are directly over the pool table. And then here is our little holder, and that will be directly onto the wall because the sticks will be on top of that, and that will be popped up just a little bit. And I'm only going to glue the sticks down on the holder. And I'm going to do one on each side and leave the center open. And I just cut those from a light brown cardstock. And then we have this one here I'm going to place over here. Then we have all of our balls. I didn't decide to cut 8 different colors. I did like 6 different colors just because that's what I had on my work surface, and I didn't want to bring in other colors that weren't going to fit. So I kept it really simple, and here is our little holder, or holders. And then of course I have the 8-ball and the white one, and I can't think of what that's called right now. And then I have blue, green, yellow, and red. Just the colors that I already have here on the card. And you can really see how this is starting to come together. It is so cute. This is such a fun die set. I love this. Let's get those last few balls in here. And then we're going to add our bit of greenery, and I'm going to do 1 millimeter foam adhesive on the vase, and then put that kind of closer towards the bottom, and then I'll just let it overlap the bar just a little bit. Then for the sentiment, I prepped a piece of black cardstock from the TV, so when you cut out the frame, I cut out in black, you have this spare piece, and I'm using the sentiment "You Rock" from the Well Played Sir stamp set. I did not use the coordinating die, but I do have the coordinating die listed along with everything else that I used down below in the description, because normally I would be using the coordinating die. I just didn't need to this time. I sprinkled on white embossing powder, heated that up, and once that cooled down, I just took a dry rag and buffed off the anti-static powder tool. It's adhered to a slimline card base, and I just think this turned out so fantastic, and I love this die so much. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it inspires you. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to Honeybee Stamp's YouTube channel, and I'll be back soon with another video.